Just a quick reminder guys, these narrations are best enjoyed with headphones on. Hey everyone, this week I read the fourth entry of one of the most recognizable franchises of the RTS subgenre. Does this game still have the charm, depth, or appeal of its predecessors about a decade and a half after the previous entry of the series? Or should this franchise be left merely as a footnote of the history of the subgenre? Let's find out. Microsoft's and Ensemble Studios' Age of Empires series is one of the very few franchises I hold dear to my heart. In the early 90s, the RTS subgenre was revolutionary. As I have said in my review of Command & Conquer Remastered Collection, links in this blog post and the video's description, before this particular period, strategy games in general was bland. The majority of them was turn-based, similar to Sid Meier's Civilization series. The first games that we could truly recognize as an RTS game came out in 1992, when Westwood Studios released Dune 2. After that, numerous games developers, including of course Westwood themselves, was developing similar games, one of which was Dallas, Texas-based Ensemble Studios. Fun fact for you lucky, the head of Playful Studios, the developers of the Super Lucky Tale series, worked as a creative designer for Ensemble Studios. Whoa, he's looking at me, eh? During the game's development, operating system giant Microsoft approached the developers and came under the Microsoft Game Studios brand, and the first game, Age of Empires, was released in 1997, with the game's expansion set, The Rise of Rome, released the next year. To me, this was the first game I ever loved. I discovered the franchise when my brother installed the demo for the expansion pack The Rise of Rome on our family PC when I was 8. The sheer feeling of empowerment of leading a nation was surreal. I remember sinking hour and hour after school playing it. The next stop on our guided tour of the Age of Empires franchise is of course Age of Empires 2 Age of Kings, released to the public in 1999. Running on an improved version of the game engine which LucasArts used in the Star Wars RTS spin-off, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. For the majority of RTS players, including myself, regard this title as the pinnacle of the RTS genre. The game's expansion, The Conquerors, released in 2000. A further spin-off, Age of Mythology, was released in 2002, with the game's expansion, The Titans, released in 2003. Our final stop on our journey of the history of Age of Empires franchise is of course Age of Empires 3, released in 2005. The game's two expansions, The War Chiefs and the Ancient Dynasties, was released the next year. Also released in 2006 was the DS support of the aforementioned Age of Empires 2. After this, the Age of Empires seemed to be finished, as Ensemble Studios, the developers, shut down by Microsoft due to poor sales of the RTS spin-off of the Halo series, Halo Wars, released in 2009. In 2013, the Age of Empires somehow came back. However, there was mostly remasters of the previous entries of the franchise. In 2017, the franchises got broken during Microsoft's E3 press conference. Phil Spencer announced that the fourth entry of the series was in active development along with Canada-based Warhammer 40k Dawn of War developers Relic Entertainment. So here we are in 2021 with this game released only yesterday, literally. This particular entry of the franchise revisits the medieval period of history. You lead one of 8 civilizations as you build up your city, research technologies to increase the strength and efficiency of your military and economy, advance through the ages, and destroy your enemies. The accessibility scores are as follows. To kick off proceedings, visibility given 9.5. This game has a high contrast mode. This mode is similar to YouTube's night mode theme, or Windows 10 and 11's dark mode. Although there is no colorblind mode available, you can use Windows colors filter settings to add a colorblind mode. You can also set civilization colors to mirror that civilization's diplomacy towards you. I understand that Windows has colorblind support, but that does not mean that game developers can ignore visually impaired players' need for a colorblind mode. Next up, audibility, gave an 11. In terms of this category, this game has a wide range of features that can be helpful to a player with a hearing impairment. First off, this game has subtitle support. You can also customize the size of the font in which these subtitles will appear, so you could read the subtitles without the risk of getting any eye strain. Also, there are text-to-speech features. When a player sends a message to you via text chat, the message itself is read out to you. In an RTS game, teamwork is vital in a lot of situations. For example, coordinating a joint attack on an enemy player. So this feature levels the playing field when taking hearing impaired players into account. You can also add narration features to the user interface. When your cursor is over an element of the user interface, for example, an option in a menu or a button in the interface, the option and its tooltip is read out to you, so a hearing impaired player will find no issues when playing this game. Next up, mobility, I gave it 10. As part of the course, this game is primarily controlled by the mouse. For serious RTS players out there, you can use hotkeys. These hotkeys can be redefined to suit your impairment, so a mobility impaired player should be able to play this game with no issues. Last but not least, gameplay, you give it 10. As I've said earlier, the Age of Empires series is the most recognizable franchises on the RTS subgenre, so this game has pretty big shoes to fill. In my honest opinion, I think Worlds Apart has done a phenomenal job revitalizing this series. First off, they've retained the majority of the features that the classic games has. For example, the resource management mechanic, while adding a lot of additional features to make this game more realistic and more appealing to a modern audience. For example, in the classic games, farms needed to be periodically rebuilt in order to keep that farm producing food. In this game, farms produce unlimited food, helping you manage your food income. In terms of other resources, the same rules apply. Wood, gold and stone can be gathered at certain points on the map. After a villager has gathered the maximum amount of that particular resource that he or she can carry, he or she has to carry the resources back to the town center in order to be added to your stockpile. To improve efficiency, he or she can build specific buildings, for example lumber mills and mining camps, which act as drop-off points for resources, making the journey shorter for the villager when carrying resources from source to drop-off point. Also, each and every civilization feels completely unique. For example, the English are an excellent defensive civilization. When an enemy unit or army comes into close proximity to a town, the alarm sounds and defensive towers and archers gain a temporary attack speed bonus, therefore making their territory easier to defend. Unlike any other civilization, English keeps can train every unit available to them. Mongols are a very aggressive civilization, allowing you access to cavalry units a lot earlier than other civilizations. Also, due to their nomadic lifestyle, their bases can be packed up and moved around the map, allowing you to gain dominance of the map a lot earlier and easier than any other civilizations. With 4 campaigns to play through, from the Norman Conquest to the 100 Years' War to the rise of the Mongol Empire, this game has plenty of content to go through in the base game, with unlockable documentary-style videos done by the BBC to give you an insight on how life and warfare were done in the Middle Ages. You'll cover the campaigns and you'll save for the multiplayer. In terms of the multiplayer, there's only one game mode available. Only standard mode is available for a multiplayer match. You can win by capturing sacred sites, building and defending a wonder, which is only available in the Imperial Age, or simply destroying your opponent. There is also a skirmish mode allowing you to practice your strategies in simulated multiplayer matches against AI opponents. In summary, Age of Empires 4 reboots the Age of Empires franchise in the best possible way. This may be too similar to the second entry of the series, but there is a lot of new mechanics to make this game fresh. For example, archers can go on top of walls to defend against invaders. If you're a fan of the Age of Empires franchise, hell, a fan of the RTS subgenre, I cannot recommend this game enough to you. Seriously, this game is available on Xbox Game Pass for PC. Don't knock it till you try it. And the overall score is a massive 101.25%. See you guys in the next...